Hello and welcome to the newest episode of the New Year Six podcast. Today I'll be covering the final game of my Week Five preview videos. And capping us off tonight is going to be Notre Dame at Duke, the site of College Game Day, and one of the key games of the week. So, if you haven't watched my preview videos before, sorry for the sirens in the background. If you haven't watched my previews before, just going to go team by team, calling out the keys to the game, what's going to work, what's not, and then at the end do a final score prediction. So, with that in mind, I'm going to kick it off with Notre Dame as the road team. Ultimately, I'm very interested in the injuries in some key positions. Mainly tight end, wide receiver. Jaden Thomas looks like he's not going to play. Um, who else is it? Eli Raridon, I think, is going to be in as well, at least for at least a couple of weeks maybe. And ultimately speaking, Notre Dame's looked very good from a passing perspective. Their passing offense has been 34th in the country. It's play of their receivers like that who have and their tight ends who have been key in those types of key in those types of situations. So I want to see what the rest of the receiving core and those tight ends can do with those receivers out. I want to see what some of those true freshmen look like Jaden Greathouse and Rico Flores. Can they rise to the occasion, and can Notre Dame find a way to cycle them in a way that throws Duke off? I think Duke's going to be prepared to bring pressure to Hartman, get ready to take care of Audric Esime. But those receivers, I think, are just as important to getting this Notre Dame offense rocking and rolling. And with that in mind, if we get those younger guys into that situation and into a spot where Notre Dame can open up the playbook a little bit, it's going to be big on on Notre Dame. It's going to be big to kind of you know use the whole field and use the whole roster if that's the way it ends up looking. In terms of where Notre Dame has looked very good so far this year, the passing defense has stepped up, and it's a passing defense that's going to need to work hard. Generally speaking, Duke's passing attack has been, at least in my eyes, it's been a little deceptively under the radar. I think Riley Leonard is a talented quarterback. I think the stats for Duke don't reflect how talented their passing attack is right now. They're an 86th, attack passing offense. They're a little bit more run heavy, but don't give Riley Leonard a second. And if you do, he's going to sneak up on you. He's going to beat you. Notre Dame's DBs are some of the best in the country. They've taken down just about everyone that's come their way. They beat everyone but Ohio State so far this year, and they're not looking to slow things down against Duke. So I think there's a pretty big talent gap between Notre Dame's DBs and Duke's receivers, and I think that takes into that plays a pretty big factor for Notre Dame if they're going to win this game. Just being able to shut down Duke's passing attack and forcing them to run the ball. I think Duke kind of likes running the ball, but if you take away half of their playbook right off the bat, Duke's going to be in trouble. So I look for those Notre Dame DBs to step up and just do what they need to do to protect any sort of lead that Notre Dame gathers on offense. In terms of where Notre Dame has struggled so far this year, and I use the term struggle loosely because I'm looking across their stat line here, and I don't see any one area where I'm like, oh, they're really bad. I just see areas where they're a little, a little less great. I think is the easiest way to look at it. Third down percentage on defense has been kind of a pain point for Notre Dame. They're 61st overall on defense on third down. Got to get that up. Duke's third down offense is, above average. It's not spectacular, but it is above average. If Notre Dame can get those key stops on the road against a Duke offense that does have a little bit of pressure on it right now, it's going to be Notre Dame's game to win. If they can't do that and they do fall by the wayside and Duke's offense comes along on third down, Notre Dame's going to be in trouble. So I think that's a pretty key factor for Notre Dame if they are going to win this game. I think it's all at the end of it, it's going to come down to Notre Dame's defense. The offense is there. If the defense can step up, Notre Dame's going to win. So watch for Notre Dame on third down. Make sure their passing defense comes alive, and then depth at the receiver and tight end spots. Now passing it over to Duke. Duke has been pretty healthy so far this year. The only injury they've got is really Eli Pankel, and he's been out for the whole season it looks like. So we'll see if he ends up coming back at some point. So me we'll just open it up to the receivers again because that's what Pinkel plays. Yeah, again, finding some of those younger guys and those the second tier guys, getting them into the game plan in a way that I don't think has been really introduced so far this year. Guys like Mekhi Wall, Malik Brown, Sims, Jontavius Robertson, guys like that, which aren't the first choice for Duke likes guys like Nicky Demolin, Samir Haggins, Jordan Moore, Jalen Calhoun, guys like that, which are a little bit more higher on their depth chart here. But if you go to those number twos and Notre Dame's not prepared for it, especially with the DBs that Notre Dame's throws out there against this receiving squad, you're gonna have to do something new. We're gonna have to do something unique, find a way to get those young guys in. And if someone goes down for Duke, are you prepared to step up? Are you prepared to answer the call that that Duke has put out for you? If they're ready and they're able to do it, Duke's gonna have a chance. Duke can be 5-0 with a big upset at home. In terms of what Duke has done well so far this year, red zone defense has been their friend. We saw it against Clemson. We saw it over the course of the season as a whole. Duke has looked very good in the red zone on defense. Takeaways, stops, everything that you need from your defense. They're the number 2 red zone defense. Notre Dame's going to have their hands full. Notre Dame's red zone offense is not bad. It's 40th. It's good enough. But, I mean, they've never played a red zone defense like the one that Duke has. And if Duke's red zone defense steps up, takes points away from Notre Dame, forces them to go for forward on fourth, and Duke gets another big stop, stops Estime, stops Hartman, Notre Dame's going to be in trouble, and Duke's going to be on the right side of this game. In terms of where Duke has fallen off a little bit or under served, it's the same area that Notre Dame has, third down defense. Now, the big difference, Notre Dame's third down offense is top 10 in the country. Duke's third down defense is 95th in the country. That is a recipe for disaster. That's what's going to cost Duke this game. If Duke cannot step up on third down, fortunately they have a defensive-minded coach in Mike Elko. They can make those adjustments. They can make those plays. If that defense shows up on third down against this Notre Dame offense, Duke wins. That's it. It's going to come down to, can Duke show up against that top-tier talent on Notre Dame's offense? If they can, Duke wins this game. If they can't, it's a Notre Dame blowout. That's really the only way we can look at this. The defense is going to be key. So if I'm Duke, third down defense needs to show up. Red zone defense needs to continue to be dominant, and I want to see that depth at receiver come to life. So with that in mind, it is time to make an official prediction for Notre Dame at Duke. Notre Dame is the favorite. They are favored by 5.5, and the total is 52.5. I'm going to take Notre Dame to win. I'm going to take Duke to cover, and I'll take the under on 52.5. The official prediction I've got is 26-25 Notre Dame. So that's not a football-friendly score. You want to do 28-27. You want to do 21-20. I'm cool with any of those, but this is a lights-out Duke defense and a lights-out Notre Dame offense. One of them is going to have to win, and I think, fortunately, it just comes down to something at the last second. I think it's a very talented Duke squad. Mike Elko has cemented himself as one of the best. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best coaches in the country. With the way he's rebuilt Duke so quickly and with as few resources as Duke has compared to other schools and other rebuilds out there, what Mike Elko is doing is nothing short of magical. And I think the magic runs short, and the clock strikes midnight for Cinderella here. But I think they're going to give Notre Dame a hell of a game, and they're going to put up a fight until the last second. So I'll take Notre Dame. I'll take them in a close one. I like Duke to cover, and Notre Dame rebounds after that tough loss against Ohio State. So, what are your thoughts on the game? Who do you got? Notre Dame, Duke. What are your keys to the game? This concludes my Week 5 preview matchups. So next episode I've got will be sometime early next week after we see all these Week 5 games and we get ready for Week 6. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for joining me on this journey, and can't wait to see what we have in store for this weekend. So it'll all be here sooner than we know it. So thank you all once again. Like and subscribe, and we'll be watching soon.